My name is Tawana Roberts, and I'm the CEO and founder of Roberts TLA here in Houston, Texas. I wanted to do this video really quick to just share with you a couple changes that have occurred in the CDL industry, okay? This is a new rule that has been implemented effective February 7th, 2022, and it's called the new ELDT Theory Training Course that is now mandated and required for anyone seeking to obtain their new CDL Class A, that's seeking to obtain their new CDL Class B, or anyone that's looking to upgrade their Class B to a CDL A, or anyone that's seeking to apply for their first time endorsement for their school bus, passengers, or hazardous material endorsement. We have this training curriculum here at Roberts TLA. We are here to serve you. We want to make sure that you're informed. We want to make sure that you're aware of all of these new guidelines, policies, and procedures. And we want to make sure that we implement the top state-of-the-art type of training. Our training is 100% online. The ELDT theory training consists of 48 learning modules that will have to be completed, all modules at an 80%, in order for you to proceed with your local DPS office to obtain your CLP, which is your commercial learner's permit. We also have the full curriculum on the hazmat endorsement, which is going to be 13 learning modules, which also has to be completed before you can proceed with your state level DPS office to take the state exam. Here at Roberts TLA, our number one goal is to give you information, to make sure you feel confident and secure in anything that you learn with us. And we're here to serve you. So if you or anyone you know are seeking to get and apply for your new CDL driver's license, look no further. We offer this training. We are a registered TPR provider for the Federal Motor Carriers Safety Administration, and we're here to serve you. So click the link below. Register today at robertstla.com. That's right. If you register, we will return your inquiry within 24 to 48 hours, get you set up to our online portal that will give you everything you need to move forward so that you can enjoy and start your new career in the transportation industry. Thank you.
Yo, welcome. Yo, welcome to another edition of the Freight Trapping Podcast. I am your host, Mr. James Roberts. And here we are again on a Sunday. Sunday. Man, we thank you guys for taking the time out of your busy schedule. Taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us on a Sunday afternoon, a Sunday evening. Check it out. We have everything she has going on. But once again, I want to welcome you guys back to another edition of the Freight Trapping Podcast. I am your host, Mr. James Roberts, your co-pilot, going to help you get through this transportation lanes and help you maneuver through some of the muck and mire of the world. Also, we also get into We also have we tapped into some counselors also for your mental health. We were tapped into a lot of people just helping you guys out. So until Miss Pamulahbaby jumps in, I wanted to tackle this one of these topics real quick. Let's go back over one of the topics we talked about on last week, right? So, if you're on operator, this probably doesn't. Well, I know it doesn't apply to you. Well, maybe it does because you're on a business. I don't know if you guys planning on bringing in some other. What can I say? Bringing in some other trucks and all of that kind of stuff. But let me see. Hold on. If you guys are planning on bringing in some other trucks and all of that kind of stuff, because what's happening is the article came out that FMCSA is now thinking about giving companies the opportunity to either send you to a drug lab or do it in-house, right? One of the two. And I think that's significant because of the fact of that you can now allow them to just walk in and they're allowing you to just swab them out, right? Without sending you down to Nova, to your local clinic to do the drug test, right? So now they can swab your mouth. So this is what the article reads. According to a notice of proposed rulemaking, right? Proposed new rulemaking set to publish in the Federal Register on February 28, plans to amend transportation industry drug testing rules to allow for oral fluid testing in place of urine testing, right? In place of urine testing. The new ruling would not forbid urine testing, but would allow employers to make the choice between the two sample collections method. So if you go in and you're being irate, if you go in and you're pretty much giving the management hard time, or if you have an accident or whatever the case may be, now they can, instead of taking you down to the local drug testing center, they can just sit there and just swab your mouth on point, on spot. So they no longer have to wait for that test. So that's just one of the things that I've been tapped into watching in the news. And so without further ado, I have my guest in the building. I don't want to keep her long. I don't want to keep her waiting too much longer. So I'm going to bring her in, and we are going to have this discussion. Come on in and welcome Miss Pamulahbaby.
What's up? What's up?
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
Woo! You wouldn't even believe I was just sitting and thinking that once I got back in that I was gonna just pop up. I had to look to see like what's taking him so long to let me in. I had to scroll up to see that I wasn't backstage.
You wasn't backstage yet.
Yeah, my bad.
I say, hey, I'm gonna let her get herself together. You know what I'm saying? I thought, whatever. I say I'm gonna talk to myself like I normally do when I don't have a guest.
No, I be ready to work now.
Yeah. I know you would because I sent you the link and you was in there. I say that's what I'm talking about. So let's dig right into this. Tell us who Miss Pamulahbaby is and where you come from.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple to the point. Okay. I mean, I'm an operator. I'm a mother of one. I just love community. I love creating content. Like what you see online is pretty much what you get with me. Right. So I don't really have to. I don't feel like I always have to get into who I am because what you see is
what you
who I am.
Okay. So let me put it like this: what made you get into trucking?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I come from a family of truck drivers. I should have been in the game 25 years, but I let my ex-husband tell me ain't no wife of his was going on the road. So I put that on the back burner. And in the interim of that, I got into nonprofit work. And then once I got outside of nonprofit work, I went to work a regular schedule. And that just wasn't working for me. I had already been outside the fishbowl. And the next thing I could think was to do what I really wanted to do was trucking. You know, my son had went off to college. I ain't have no ties. So here I am.
So you said something that I wanted you to finish before I jumped in. How difficult do you think it is on women having men that are truck drivers versus men having women that are truck drivers? How hard do you mentally, and how hard do you think that is on? Because I've never, as a male, we don't understand what you guys go through when we're out there on the road. So you said your husband was didn't want you to get into it. Didn't want you to be. Was
my
he a
ex-husband?
Your ex-husband. Corrected. Was he a truck driver?
No.
Okay. Was your dad?
No, my uncles and my granddaddy.
Okay. So from a woman perspective, how hard do you think it is on a wife, a mother, to allow their son or their husbands? Well, what kind of weight is that on them while we're out there on the road? Are you able to paint a picture for us?
You mean me thinking about you as a driver and I'm home?
Yeah.
I could definitely relate because my brother got into the game 3 years before me. And it can be. I want to look for the right word. It can be scary. I'm gonna just say that.
Right.
Because you just don't know when you're gonna get that phone call. Even now, you know, I'm out on the road. My brother's out on the road. I'm constantly thinking about him. I'm constantly having him check in. We constantly checking in with each other because you just never know. You know what I'm saying? And I guess because I'm out there, I see what could happen to us as drivers.
Right.
Yeah, it could be. People just don't know. We talking about 80,000 pounds.
Right.
On thin ice, snow, rain, 4-wheelers.
Right.
It's mentally, yeah. But I'm the type of person, I guess I've accepted that we all got to leave here someday.
Right.
It's just a matter of when and how. So once you come to terms with that, you just learn to live your life.
Right.
Yeah.
Cause I'm gonna tell you, I never kind of, how can I say? I never I'm not gonna say took into account, but I never understood. You know what I mean? When my mom would be like, "Man, just be careful." And you young, I was young, and I'm like, "Man, I'm good. I got this. I'm good. I'm good." And as a man, you never understand what your family goes through while you out there on the road, the worry. And like you said, when you're going to get that phone call, if you're going to get that phone call, and hope you never get that phone call, right? And so we as men, we just never understand, or we never take into account that while we out there hustling, that it's a certain mental weight that's on a woman at home, waiting on you to return. You know what I mean? And that's why I wanted to have you guys on, because I wanted to make sure that we painted a picture on how you guys feel when we're on that road, right? Yeah. And so I thank you for that, and I thank you for kind of painting that picture for us, giving the pictures of it. So you wanted to get in trucking, but your ex-husband wasn't having it, which I can kind of understand, because my wife, she just got her CLP, and I would never hold her back, but I kind of be like, "Baby, you ain't got to do that." But if it's something somebody wants to do, we'll probably do it, and I'll probably go back to being the owner operator, and we'll be team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We'll be team. So, but I would never hold her back. So you get into trucking after your divorce?
Yeah.
You jump in after your divorce. So where do you start once you jump in? Where do you start? You start out owner operator? You start out with a school? Where do you start?
Yeah, I did my homework. I always start that question with I did my homework first. I already to weigh my options, to know which way and which direction I want to go in. And the best route for me was to go to school, CDL school, an accredited school that would actually be hands-on with me, not just a run-through-the-mill trucking school. I can get my license and then, I fly out on my own. No, right. It was a 9-week course.
Right.
My instructors had, between them over 75 years in the game. The class was real. The setting was small. It was a class of 14, 2 to a truck, 7 trucks. So I got to be in the truck every day. And then I knew I wanted to take that route was because I didn't want to sign a contract with a company. So I'm listen, anything that ties me down and doesn't allow me to have my freedom, that's not an option for me. So I said, all right, I want to be able to have my license in my hand, and then I can go where I want to go. So after graduating from CDL school, I went to Warner. I thought Warner was the best option for me at the time. And I stayed with them for 3 months. And then so I went into company driving. But when I came in the game, initially, I already knew I was going to do company driving for 2 years, get my feet wet, and then I was going to go owner operator.
Right. So how long have you been driving?
3.5 years.
3.5 years. Okay. All right. So you went through Warner Trucking School.
No, I went through my own. I got my own school in Miami, and then I went to Warner.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how was it driving for Warner?
Nah, actually,
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Warner was cool. They see you just as a number. You don't talk to anybody when it comes to dispatch, and everything is through the Qualcomm or Omnitrax or whatever it is that they was using at the time. I can't remember. You know what I mean? You don't know who you're talking to. As soon as you drop one load, they send you the next load. So they keep you moving. You know what I mean? The money wasn't that good, but I kept, they kept me moving. The home time sucked.
Right.
But it taught me what I needed to know for the next company. So I got that 3 months experience, and then, and then also they had tuition reimbursement because I paid to get my license. It was $2,100, so they reimbursed me my money within that 3 months. So pretty much they paid for me to get my license, and then I went on to work for Frozen Food Express for the next 2 years, for a year and a half rather. Mm-hmm. And they had a sign-on bonus for experienced drivers, right? But it was only really all you needed to have was 3 months. Mm-hmm. And they their sign-on bonus was $5,000 at the time.
So did they split it?
Huh?
They split it.
Yeah, 25 on the after the first dispatch, and then the rest on the 30 days after. Mm-hmm. So I pretty much got paid to get my CDL, and I tell people that all the time.
Right.
So it was very strategic on how I did things coming into the game.
Right. Because I always tell students, it's to your best interest not to go in. I mean, it's not bad, but the way they do it, I don't like how they do it. If you can pay for your own schooling, pay for it and get reimbursed. Don't allow people like Snyder. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They have some of the worst reviews when it comes to schooling. Not that it's a bad school. It's just that once you finish it, they put you under a contract and they never want to bring you home. They tell you one thing and then they do another. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of where I am with the schooling and being under contract and all that kind of stuff. Hey, Mr. Kevin Palmer say, Pamela, my favorite content creator. He gave you he gave you a strong arm. So so that's where you start. You've been in the trucking game. Well, what's the name of your business?
Oh, I don't give that out because I create content. And people see me. I'm
Oh, the name of your I got you. I got you. Enough said. Yeah. Security reasons.
For security reasons, exactly.
Yes,
now,
yes, ma'am, I got you.
You run up on me in a truck stop, that's cool. But for me to just
that means for them to be riding around. They riding around looking. You trying to rest? They looking. Oh, that go a truck. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got you. Security purpose. No problem. So moving forward. Well, what lanes are you driving? What lanes have you driven as a driver and owner operator?
Dry right now. Dry
in freight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, do you run 48 states or you got a region or what? Southeast. That's where you stay?
Yeah. When I first became an owner operator, of course, learning curve. Mm-hmm. If you know anything about Florida, coming out of Florida, running dry van, the best rates coming out is going to take you up northeast. Mm-hmm. And I learned really quickly that them fuel prices, northeast parking, how tight everything is, tolls, it just wasn't worth it for me. So yeah, I cut that out real quick. I got wise to it real quick. So now I try to stay close to home. I might run the Midwest, but mostly Southeast.
Right. I found running out of Texas, which I've ran. I ain't finna go in the number of lanes I've ran. I found that I made the most money going west to California. So that's where our bread and butter was, coming from running out of Houston, going to Long Beach.
All right.
With tankers. And so I found that's where the money was for me. So as an owner operator, what are some of the other endeavors that you're tackling right now as a owner operator, and what else are you tackling?
As far as what you mean?
Business wise.
Oh, well.
And nonprofit. We'll get into the nonprofit lab, but let's talk business.
Okay. Business wise, in conjunction with being an owner operator, it would be the content creation. Mm-hmm. Contrary to what people may think, I want to make y'all laugh, kiki, ha 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 ha, he he.
Right.
But that's residual income for me as well.
Right.
So those I run it simultaneously because, of course, I'm in the truck. People want to see me in the truck, create content, make people laugh, motivation, education, and all that good stuff. So yeah.
Man, I take my hats off to you guys that's doing it now, because now that I'm off the road, and we had a conversation behind the scenes before, that I see a lot of you guys doing that over the road content now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Well, when I was out there on that road hustling and doing all that, we didn't YouTube and the internet and all that. It wasn't as big as it is now.
Right.
And I enjoy seeing you guys out there, kind of putting people inside the truck, as I see it, putting people over the road with you. People get a chance to see, and I think that's what it intrigues them. You know what I mean? To see you, and I'm glad you guys are doing that, and that's another thing that kind of pushed me into kind of sitting up behind the camera. Since I'm here and I'm at a certain point, let me do this. You know what I'm saying? Let me find my lane. Yeah. Content creating in my lane, and that's basically how I came across you, because you were on TikTok. Now how many TikTok videos do you do in a week? Would you say?
It depends, and the reason why I say it depends is because I kind of like to play with the algorithms.
Mm-hmm.
So
you understand all of that? I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been doing it, long enough
right.
to understand. I don't have it beat. There's no way to beat the algorithm because
right.
it changes so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But and also it's about when I have the time to do it. You know what
mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So
mm-hmm.
when I do have the time to actually do it, I do mine in days. I'm not like just this random content creator. Okay, I'm gonna do a TikTok today. No.
Right.
I have an actual day. Like, let's say I'm taking the load, and I know that my next load don't pick up for a day and a half, maybe. It depends, right?
Right.
I'll say, okay, in between that, I'm gonna set up, and I'm gonna set up to do 5 videos at that one time, and then I'll just disperse them when I need to.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
So that's how I do that. But on average, I might drop one video a week, maybe.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because I always look at it like this here: you don't want to prostitute yourself out, because then people will be like, "Okay, we didn't had that before."
Exactly. And it's easy to get burnt out too. It's easy to get burnt out if you constantly trying to. And real creativity don't
mm-hmm. work
like that.
Right.
It don't work like that. It doesn't just. You can't just turn it on when you want to.
Right. And that's why I applaud you guys for putting in the time, because I drop a video once a week every Sunday. Try to,
mm-hmm.
but like you guys are committed to it. But I'm just like, bro. That's why I tip my hat to you guys for being committed content creators to the lanes you guys are in when it comes to the social media thing. Cause I got to be pushed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got to be pushed, and that's why I reach out to you guys, because not to jump in your lane, but to just kind of, hey man, this a female trucker. She's doing it.
Right.
She's behind the wheel. She's an owner operator. She has a clothing line, right? She has a nonprofit.
Yeah, I have merch. That's
talk about your merch. Let's talk about your merch.
Yeah, I have Moolah Mob merchandise.
Moolah Mob. Okay.
Yeah.
Moolah Mob.
Right. That's to recognize, so people can have a connection to me. You know what I'm saying? Pamulahbaby is a brand.
Right.
So, I got my real supporters, and they wanna represent me outside of social media, and I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's another form of income for me as well. And I'm glad that you did ask, because I've self-titled myself the new driver's advocate.
Okay.
And it's kind of crazy, because I know we're gonna talk about the nonprofit last. Because when I first got onto social media, I was all over the place. I made it look like I knew what I was doing, but I really didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
Okay. I just wanted to make people laugh.
Made it look good.
Yeah, I just wanted to make people laugh, and now I'm seeing how all of it is coming full circle for what it is that I really should be doing, and what the purpose of me doing what I'm doing, so people can get, on board with what it is that I'm doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Yeah, and I got a lot of questions. I used to go live on TikTok. I still do, and I get a lot of questions about how to get into trucking. The first question I've ever was asked that stood out to me the most on TikTok was, I didn't know y'all had sleepers on the truck. I was like, what? Those videos on TikTok about the trucking lifestyle, they have them over 2 million views. You know what I'm saying? Just those particular videos in itself. Right. So that shows me that people are taking interest in the trucking lifestyle because they had no idea how we live out on the road. Right. So I came up with this idea to become the new driver's advocate, because people are looking for, avenues to get into, things to get into. If you don't have a degree, you may have some criminal issues on your record. You don't have an education, whatever it is, right? The circumstance it is. You may be trying to get away from a husband, a domestic violence situation. You just got out of prison, whatever it is, right? You'll be able to tap into trucking. So I want to be a resource to, like you said, the new drivers that can come in and ask me questions and things like that. So I don't mind giving away the information for free, but lately I've been on some phone calls and reading emails where people are like taking me down a rabbit hole. So it's not that I'm charging for the information, but I'm charging folks now for my time. So that's another way that I can bring in revenue as well. So you want to consult with me?
Let me say this here.
Mm-hmm.
You are, whatever information you give anybody about this game, if you decide to charge them, you well within your rights. Because let me tell you something, the things that we know as truckers, I didn't know that the experience that I have would help so many people in so many ways, right? So at some point, they say monetize, right? That's another stream of income for me. A consultant. Mm-hmm. I have 18 Gear Consulting. My wife has Roberts Transportation and Logistics Academy, where she mentors and she teaches dispatch. She teaches brokering. She teaches a number of things. Now we're doing the ELDT training. We're doing the ELDT hazmat training. I'm the trainer, right? And so our academy is on the upswing. So I was, when they ask you what's your price,
you can ask me.
No. I'm just saying, when people say, what do you charge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were thinking about getting into it, you was like, bro, I can't. This is not a game for me. I love what I do. I don't see myself doing nothing else, not because of the money, but because I love trucking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when a person say, put a price on it, I can't put a price on my passion.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's hard. My wife's like, man, you got to put a price on your passion. Because I love what I do. And when you love what you do, you don't want to shortchange yourself, but also you don't want to try to take advantage of people.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it's so easy for me to do that I feel like I'm taking advantage of you. But I'm not. Because this is valuable information and experience that you're getting from me.
Absolutely.
And so my wife pushed me into, I told my wife, I said, well, what would you pay for me to teach you? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What would you pay? And I said, whatever you would pay, you put the price on it and I'll do it.
Right.
So she put the price on it. We're doing it. She's behind the scenes. She got our academy up and running. We got we got everything to where we're gonna level up. You know what I'm saying? Doing different things. And so it's good to have women in this industry that are pushing us forward, because I think we as men have did what we were supposed to do. We set a long lasting foundation in this industry, right?
Right.
Now it's content creators like yourself, which most of them I found are female. Now you guys are pushing trucking to another level.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so I'm not the type of man to be like, oh, she don't need, no. She can do what she want to do. My wife, they can do it. My wife behind me, I'm behind her, and we pushing. And so the Moolah Mob is your clothing line. Moolah Mob is your clothing line, which people can go in and where can they purchase that at?
www.pamulahbaby.com.
Okay, that's how you say it.
Yeah, moolah, the money.
Yeah, okay. Pamulahbaby. Okay.
Yeah.
I bet. That's catchy. That's catchy. So so now let's talk about you raising this black man to be a college graduate. Let's talk about that.
Well, I raised him in Miami, Florida, Overtown. If you are familiar with Miami, Florida, you already know Overtown is is the hood. You don't just put it like that.
Okay.
Right? Listen, I was can I cuss?
Knock yourself out.
I was a foot the ass mama.
You sound like my wife.
Yeah, I ain't play that, but I was very nurturing. I'm a nurturer. You know what I mean? And I think that spills over into me wanting to do the consulting thing too, because I'm a nurturer. I want what's best for you. Period. Period. I ain't gonna tell you nothing wrong. You hear me?
Right,
and if I tell you something wrong, if I tell my son something wrong, I used to always tell him, if it don't go the way I told you it was gonna go out, I got you. I got you. And I raised him up like that. You know what I mean? So he didn't give me a day of trouble. Not a day. Not a day. He was in what they call it? Because it's been so long he done been out of school. What they call it? Not honor roll. Gifted classes. He was in gifted classes. Very, very smart, very reserved. He got a little temper like me. But he gave me no trouble. I guess because I when I got pregnant, I already knew the streets couldn't have him. They couldn't have him. And I lived and will die by that. So he, graduated from high school, went off to college. Now he's working on his master's. He's just living, he's doing what he's supposed to do.
Now I'm not gonna assume, but I hope my assumption is right. I just want to shout out to you and his dad for pushing that young man to graduating in. He grew up in a time with Trayvon Martin, and that had to be, the climate down there had to be treacherous, trying to raise a black man in Florida during that time.
Yep.
So I just want to congratulate you guys for
thank you
for making it through.
Thank you. Thank you.
Y'all planted that seed and y'all watched it grow and y'all got him through that, and congratulations. Hats off to you and your ex-husband for doing a great job.
Thank you.
Because getting a master's degree, oh yeah, you got to be y'all got to be proud parents.
We are.
So let's talk about this. Kind of take us around the sleeper. The sleeper.
My sleeper?
Yeah, your sleeper. Just take us around how, you make being out on the road. How long do you stay out on the road, first of all?
Don't make me lie. I used to be able to stay out for a month, 3 months, but now I kind of slowed down because I got, other businesses that run and stuff like that. So it depends on how I feel.
Oh, I never stayed out a month. The longest I'm be honest with you, the longest I stayed out was 8 days.
Oh no, I used to be a runner.
Nah. Well, I ran, but you had to shoot me out there, bring me back, shoot me out there, bring me back. I like again. I tip my hat off to all of you drivers that can stay out there 2 months at a time, because that's one thing I told myself. I'm gonna be on this highway, but I'm gonna make sure I got me a social life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I tried to make sure that I was back home in time enough to enjoy my family, my mom. I didn't even have any kids at that time, so I was just on my own. I could have did it, but I didn't want to. You know what I mean? I didn't have a passion to stay out there, but I had a passion to drive. I've seen so many things like yourself. So back to the question. This ain't about me. Back to the question. How is the sleeper set up to make sure you're comfortable if you decide to stay out a month?
Well, that's the reason why I can stay out for a month, because my sleeper is comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I always stress that to people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be in the truck because it don't remind you of home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got it decked out like you're in a prison cell. No. No.
Mm-hmm.
I got a refrigerator that gets cold, and it's fully stocked with food from Publix.
Yeah.
Some food from Publix. All right, I don't do truck stop food too much. I got all my nice clothes. You know, I don't wear the best clothes, but when I'm out on road, I'm presentable. You know what I'm saying? I like my button ups, and my distressed jeans and my sneakers. Right. So then I got my 32-inch TV, and then I got my Firefox. I think that's what it's called, Firefox cable box. I got 4,000 channels that I can watch live TV.
Okay.
Yeah. So when Real Housewives of Atlanta is on and everybody home watching it, I'm on the road watching it too. Then I got my bed. My mattress is a Sleep Dog mattress.
See, hold on. Let's time out right there. See, that's why that's why I'm so jealous right now. See, that Firefox box that you had, right? When I was on the road, when I was out there, we had to pay almost $1,500 to have a cable box in our truck. 15. And then the mattresses that they have now, we had prison mattresses. I'm not gonna lie, they wasn't plastic,
right?
But they wasn't what you guys have now, because everything is upgraded and everybody wants to make sure you're comfortable. Hey, they got so much good stuff right now that I'm almost tempted to go back on the road, but I can't. I got a 3-year-old. I'm not going nowhere. I got to get him up out of here. Yeah, right. I ain't going nowhere. Continue.
Yeah, so I got the Sleep Dog mattress. Okay, that I keep covered with a nice duvet and my pillows. Right, then I'm gonna swing on around to. I got my Instapot and my microwave. Okay, and I got pictures of my family and all that good stuff.
Let's stop right there. Man, nowadays y'all got air fryers. You got skillets that. Man, do you know what we had when I was out there? We had, you pop that hood, put your stuff in some foil, and sit it on top of that motor. Right? Or you had a little lunch kit, lunch pail, and sometimes a bigger one that will plug into your cigarette lighter or to your what they call it, we had a converter. I had like a 2500 watt converter that I hooked to my motor. I mean, not my motor, to my
batteries.
My batteries. That way I could tap in with a plug to get, for my refrigerator and all of that. Because I had to upgrade. At first I had all of the refrigerators that you plug into your cigarette lighter. They didn't do nothing. Burn them out because they stayed plugged up so long, right?
Right. So
then I had to upgrade 2500 watt inverter. Hooked it up to my batteries. Now I can plug everything in. You know what I mean? Got me a multi outlet plug plugged everything in. Then that was 6 years after I was over the road.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was.
Well,
6
you got
years.
some drivers that's still using that stuff because a lot of these company trucks don't come with nothing. It comes stock.
Right.
So,
And that's why you have to have those inverters, because now the newer trucks that they have, they kind of have those plugs for you to tap into.
right.
Right. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So continue. I'm just jealous of all the stuff y'all got now, but just continue. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's pretty much it. My truck is pretty much, I would say fully loaded. I mean, I got my load scale where I ain't got to really listen. I ain't got to do too much.
Mm-hmm.
I got a nice truck. I got the carpet in the back. I drive a Peterbilt 579.
Okay. All right. How many years?
It's 2017, or
How many?
it's a 10.
10.
Yeah.
Super 10 or just straight 10?
Nah, 10, regular 10.
Regular 10.
I know how to drive a Super 10 though.
Right. So you know why I named my consultation group 18 Gear Consulting?
From what? Not the 18 gears from back in the day.
Yeah. 18 gears. Yeah. 18 gears. So for me, 18 gears represent everything in trucking that makes the gear go round in trucking, right? It's a lot of people that say, "Oh, we can do without dispatching. Oh, we can do without the brokering." When I was an owner operator, I could always say, we would always talk about, man, why we need these brokers, woo, right? Until I understood what a broker does, right? Until I understood what a dispatcher does, until I understood what shippers do, and I understood that every gear, every teeth on the gear has to be in place so that everything can move smoothly.
Right.
If one teeth is missing, it's going to skip a beat. So hence 18 Gear Consulting makes everything go smoothly. And that's why I tell people, man, we can't step on one another when it comes to transportation. You know what I mean? Because a good driver need a good dispatcher. If y'all can communicate, the relationship can be wonderful. You know what I mean? And then a good dispatcher has a good relationship with a broker or brokers.
Yeah.
Right? And then every broker has an excellent relationship with the shippers. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that everything makes this transportation thing go around and makes everything just move a little bit smoother.
True.
So that's the cab, right?
Yeah.
You set up, you're comfortable, you got everything you need. So what's the typical, if you was out there on the road for a month, then you would have to do your reset in a certain city, right?
Mm-hmm.
What city would you want to do your reset in?
I know this gonna
And
sound
why?
crazy. I know people gonna be like, "What?" But I mean, I maybe it's not gonna sound crazy, but Atlanta. And the reason why I try to get, huh?
That ain't crazy. That's Chocolate
Nah,
City,
because
isn't it?
it ain't no truck parking in Atlanta.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I would go to Atlanta, but I would be doing this here. I pick up,
Right.
and so I never even realized that there's no truck parking in Atlanta.
They got the Petro and then the Pilot on Boulder Crest, and
That's
they
it.
built. Yeah, they got one more that's in Forest Park, but they charging the park. I mean, most of them charge the park. The Petro you got to pay, Pilot you got to pay, and the new one that they built you got to pay.
Right. So you would rather do say you're doing your 34 hour reset in Atlanta, right? You drop off. What you doing? You gonna get your hotel, or you just gonna chill in the truck and then you gonna jump? What you doing? Cause I've never had to do a 34 hour reset on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And yes I have, but I got a hotel. They pay for me a hotel room. I know you've done this, but in my mind, what does that look like for you?
Yeah, like I try to get to do a reset in Atlanta. Why? Because my sister and my mom live in Atlanta. So
Okay.
of course I'm going to see family. I'm going to see my nephews and hang out. But if I can't get to Atlanta and I'm doing a 34 reset somewhere else, I'm mainly in the truck. Like that's the time for me to knock out my content. You know, get in tune with my followers and stuff like that.
Okay. So it ain't a lot of jumping and going see this and going see that.
Nah, when I'm on the road, I'm out there really to make money, not spend it.
Right. Let me tell you something. I love going to the West because this dude told me about the hot springs in Colorado where you could pull to the side. It's on the west side of 70. And a lot of people don't like to run the west side of 70 because the lanes are so narrow. It's almost like a 2-lane highway. But driver told me about the hot springs in Colorado on the 70, on the west of 70, and I stopped. And I was 33. And when I tell you, I'm glad I stopped. Because when I started driving, they used to call me Rabbit. And that's because I could never do more than 2 hours of rest because I wasn't used to it, right? I wasn't used to sleeping in that in the bunk, right? And so I would drive until I got sleepy, and I would pull over and take my break, but I could only sleep like 4 hours. And I'm right back up ready to go, fully energized. Because I wasn't used to it. But I got used to it over time. And so I started, driver told me, man, this is your opportunity to get to see the country. Take advantage of it.
I agree with that.
Right.
When I was out west, when I used to go out west, I used to go and see the sights and stuff like that. I would go to the movies. I would go and get my nails done, feet done, stuff like that. But I done seen everything. I think. I mean, not everything, but to me, this is the type of person I am. I feel like I'm the type of person. If you seen one island, you seen them all.
Right. Okay. I got you. I'm with you.
So it's the same thing in my mind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You seen one mountain, shit. You seen them all.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. Wyoming, during the springtime, you have never seen anything like it if you have never been. I'm telling you, that's some pretty land.
It is.
That's
when it's not
land.
Crazy. When the weather is not crazy, yeah.
Oh yeah, 80. That 80 when 80's crazy and it's windy. Oh no, what you drive right now? I was driving a skateboard, which is a flatbed.
Right.
I was driving a skateboard, so the wind didn't affect me because it's going right over. But when you in them freight truck, those vans like you drive. I done seen many of them drop they trailers on the side of the road because it was about to take their tractor. That wind bad up on 80. Wind bad up on 80. So, what's the big plan and the big move for Miss Pamulahbaby? What's the big move?
The big move is my nonprofit. That's definitely the big move. Kev had told me to say this.
Go deep into that. Go deep into it.
All right. So with the nonprofit, right? Like I said, I think I said on a live on Instagram. I might have not said it, but just for those who might just be tapping in, I worked for a nonprofit, not nonprofits, for 11 years. So service is in my blood. Okay. Right. So I knew I would be doing some kind of giveaway or some type of give back when I got in the trucking. I just didn't know what, because of course you got to get in the trucking to figure out what are the needs. So over time, when I first got in the trucking, I would hear the horror stories about, trainees being abandoned at truck stops by their trainer.
Right.
Seeing with my own eyes, trainees being abandoned at truck stops by their trainer. And then my own experience or interpretation of how things could go wrong as a trainee on a trainer's truck. even though these things haven't happened to me, but when you are a trainee on a trainer's truck, you are relying on that trainer's knowledge, know-how, experience, socialization. Mm-hmm. You're also relying on them to take a shower, because the fuel card, you can have a fuel card. Yeah, you can sign up for Loves and Pilot and all that stuff. That's free. Anybody
but they
can
got
do that.
The points.
But it has to be tied to a truck. You are not the driver of that truck. Right.
So hold on. Let me get this straight. Straight. As a trainee, mm-hmm. I have my CDLA, because there's no way I'm getting in the truck with a trainer without having it, right?
Right.
So what you're telling me is that a trainer would abandon somebody he's being paid to train. They would abandon him.
Yeah.
And what way? In what way? I mean, explain how they would abandon them.
Well, let's just say, for instance, y'all got into it on the truck. Okay. You know, it's the trainer's truck, right?
Right.
He has the relationship with the company. They already see him as an asset, because he's a trainer. Exactly. So his word over yours is
golden. Mm-hmm.
Right. So if he get into it or she get into it with you on the truck, they call the company and say, listen, this is not working out, or my life is in jeopardy. I don't feel safe with him on the truck. You being put out. Or you got some trainers, because they know they are an asset, they ain't consult with the company. They just put you out. And you done went to the bathroom, and you come back and your stuff outside the truck, and they telling you.
Well, how is that? How is that not in violation on the company side? How is that?
If people do it.
Yeah. But and I'm glad you're in that lane, because because I'm such a teacher, because I would never do anybody like that, right? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't think that a trainer would leave a trainee at a pilot or a flying J because we're not seeing eye to eye, right? You
wouldn't think a police officer would kill a black man either, right?
Right.
That ain't their job.
You right.
It's not, you know what I'm saying? We think they're to protect and serve, but when they have the law or the, you know, on their side, it's the same concept. Okay. Things that we can't imagine happening happens.
Right. And that's why I love talking to different people. I don't care where you are in the industry. If you're a shipper, or if you're the manager, right? Or if you're the owner operator, or if you work for the company, or if you're a dispatcher, or if you're a broker. I want to talk to you because everybody don't know everything that's going on in trucking. Hence, your nonprofit, right? And the reason why you've seen things like you've just seen trainers abandoning their trainees. And so, what were you saying before that? Because that just kind of blew my mind, because I couldn't see myself leaving a trainee at a pilot or a gas station, leaving them stuck out all because, okay, we don't see eye to eye, but I think that I'm enough man to say, okay, we're going to do this load and we're going to get you back.
Wow, I agree.
Right.
But you got to remember, too, it's so many dynamics that we don't even think about. Like, you know, racism still exists.
Right.
It definitely exists in trucking. Right. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And who is the dominant in trucking? White males. So this is a high rate that you're going to get a white trainer. And he don't like the way your teeth, the color of your teeth. You know what I'm saying? That the first thing you do wrong is his opportunity or her opportunity to fuck you around.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
how would you
people a lot of times they share their stories with their trainers too. You know what I'm saying? How desperate they are to get into trucking, and that's sometimes I think that's a mistake.
A mistake, yeah. So how would you I think you were going into how your nonprofit is set up to help somebody in that situation.
Right. So that's one aspect of it, the abandonment. All right. Then you have, like I was saying, the fuel card is tied to the truck, right?
Right.
So, you have to pretty much take a shower when your trainer
Right.
takes a shower, you know what I'm saying? Or if they give you the card, or it might be where he or she decide they ain't pulling in for the night, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know what I'm saying? You got to try to find a way when you can take a shower, but you ain't got the funds, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of times trainees, they are, fresh out of prison, no education, coming off of domestic violence. The training program ain't really paying them nothing, but they still got to send money back home. So they just living off of
life. Right.
Yeah, so they just surviving off of cookies and chips.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be able to reach out to my organization, Sunshine for Truckers. If you've been abandoned by your trainer, we'll find you a bus ticket home, but you have to be outside of your home state. Right. If you are in need of a hot shower or a meal, you can reach out to Sunshine for Truckers. So that's what my organization is about.
Oh, okay. So are you partnered up with some of the major pilots, or how do you disperse those showers? How do they get those showers? Are
Well, right now I'm receiving donations, and I'm looking for grants to fill the void. So what they can do is visit the website to see if they qualify. Once they see that they qualify, it's a form on the website. They can fill it out. It's really quick. I'm not asking for your social security and your first child's blood, you know what I'm saying, for a hot meal. I'm not asking for that, but I still have to be accounting for the dollars that I'm spending. I mean, this is a business. This is not, this is real. This is legit. The IRS recognizes us as a 501c3. So they can fill out the form. I'll get the form. They have to have a Cash App or PayPal in order to receive the funds, and I'll submit the funds. But if they need a bus ticket, I would have to do a phone interview, because again, we dealing with people. Right. You know what I'm saying? I don't want folks thinking that this is just a free for all, that you could just come and get $200, $300 for a bus ticket. No. Right. Listen, social services is in my blood. I know how to set things up the proper way. So I would do a phone interview. They will, we would talk. If they pass the phone interview, then my organization will purchase the bus ticket, and they would have to, find a way to get to the closest bus terminal, and they can get home.
See, and that's what I mean. I realized one thing when I on my own truck, how trustworthy you have to be as an owner of a company, as somebody in the position that you're in, to entrust somebody that, okay, you're telling me the truth about the situation you're in, right? Because you have to be so much accountable. I understood how you have to have so much trust in what this person is telling you as a driver and as somebody who's in distress. You know what I mean? For you to say, okay, let me help you. You know what I'm saying? Let me help you, because there's so many scams out there. You wouldn't believe how many scams it is when it comes to, oh, I can teach you this, I can teach you that, I can teach. And my wife have to calm me down, because I get so pissed off when people come into the industry and they take advantage of people who are just trying to find a means to support their family, and then they take the last $200 they have to take a course from them, and it's not even hands-on. It's just kind of go and do your thing, and when you're done, you're done. Right? And I think that's what the kind of picture you just painted is, that when you helping these trainees and they're in distress, you trying to make sure that it's accurate and true to the distress they're in, and because you're a nonprofit, because you still have to answer to the IRS, and because you still have to document, you know what I'm saying, the dollars that you spend, that they got to realize that it's nothing against them. It's business.
Exactly.
It's business.
Exactly. And I don't want folks to take money from people who really need it. Like, we're not dealing with a endless bank account, endless, you know what I'm saying? We dealing with limited funds. And here it is that you come along, you sitting at home on your couch, and no. Even to get the $15 for a shower or $15 for a meal, all I'm asking for is you have to submit a current photo ID of your Class A license and a photo of the current company ID, picture ID.
Right.
So people can't just still call. And not only that, my background in social services, I did intakes. All I did was go into homes and assess families for services. I'm experienced in that. So once you get on the phone with me, it better make sense.
And that's why that's why I tip my hat to you, because it takes patience to do that too. It takes patience. And I told you when we talked in the background yet again that, you know, sometimes you can have an idea. Like, I had an idea of when I was on the road, I was like, man, we don't eat right. I found myself, I gained like 40 pounds. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
From the first 2 years of me driving over the road, I was like, man, this food on the road ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Even when I do go in and sit down and have a good meal, it's still packaged and it's full of sodium.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm driving 800, 1,300 miles, and I'm just sitting. And I had an idea of, man, what if I buy a van and just cut out the sides and make it like a garage and put some weights in there and some treadmills and just kind of take it around from pilot to pilot and truck stop to truck stop. And I'm like, how would I do that? But then that's my idea, but that's not my passion.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And see, you got to kind of know when you're just spinning your wheels and you really have a passion for it. And I think you really have a passion for helping these truckers when they're in distress. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you have to let people be, you know, do what they do in their lane.
I agree. Eventually, I would love to grow Sunshine for Truckers, to eventually give out scholarships for CDL school. I want to grow to the point where I can hire folks. I want us to grow to where we have free national conferences across the U.S. I mean, I got a bigger vision for the organization, you know? So,
well, I can tell you now, you can sign me up as a mentor.
Thank you.
I'm
glad you brought that up, because I'm looking for resources.
Yeah. See, that's one thing I told my wife when we got into this. I said, listen, you're in this and you're making connections. I mean, she just started making connections because that's who she is. She does business. You know what I mean?
Right.
And she just started making connections, and she started reaching out to people that wasn't even in the city. You know, we out of Houston. And so I said, baby, I just see that you reaching over here and reaching over there. You're making a web over the whole United States to where people can connect, even though you might be over here. Oh, I can help your truck get out here and get over there. You're making connections, and you're doing something that I thought I wanted to do, right? But I didn't have a passion. And so now that you have the passion to do it, now I can be a chief. I mean, I'm not a chief. I can be an Indian, and no pun intended. I can just be an Indian in your army, right? And just help you in any way I can, mentor. You know, if somebody needs to talk, she's even set up a calendar to where, you know, if somebody needs to set up a consultation with me and talk to me and just kind of walk them through whatever it is they can. You know what I'm saying? You can send it to them for me, and I'll you know, put me down. I'll help mentor. That's just my way of giving back as a trucker. Even though we in this to make money, we also in this to help people.
I appreciate that.
Navigate through this transportation industry.
I appreciate that. I got 2 more resources as well that I would like to mention. Since you brought it up, I'm billing right now. I'm trying to make my rounds, y'all. It's only one person running this organization. I'm making my rounds to for referrals because I don't like telling people no. But I also like to have an alternative for that person. So when they reach out to me, I can say, well, hey, I don't do that, but I can tell you who does. So right now I'm building a driver's resource guide. So for anybody who does consulting work or want a mentor, they have a CDL school, anything that has anything to do with trucking and you want to be of a service, please let me know so I can post you on the Sunshine for Truckers page on Instagram. So when the drivers scroll in the highlight, they can find your services there. And lastly, what I do as well, I have a low-level emergency support line for drivers who may be feeling anxiety and depression. They can reach out through my WhatsApp. They can find that link on the website and also on the Instagram page. Again, it's low level. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a therapist. But I know sometimes we just need to tap in with somebody.
Right. So let's talk. Hold on. Let's talk about that. I don't want to just skim over that.
Okay.
And that may be sometimes that may be the most important part of your nonprofit because everybody's dealing with mental health nowadays, right? And people don't even realize the mental wear down that we take as truckers over the road.
Absolutely.
So go a little bit deeper on that mental health side of your nonprofit that you were just talking about.
Okay, thank you. One of the nonprofits that I did work for was mental health. Once I got into trucking, that was the first thing I noticed as a need, right? Think about it. We are, it can be a culture shock for people getting out on the road. You know what I'm saying? You're not realizing that when you go into truck stops, the showers are not always clean. You're pushing 80,000 pounds down a 7-grade steep. You know what I'm saying? The wind pushing you one way, because that happened to me. When I first started with Warner and I was coming through Ohio, I was shaking like booty meat. I mean,
that's a lot of shaking.
Man, listen, like booty meat, because the wind was blowing me all kind of ways. And then, I don't know if people know how anxiety works, but it has a way of making everything seem larger than what it is.
Right.
I thought I was in the mountains. But now when I go through there, I'm like, this is what I was afraid of. My anxiety was just taking over so bad that once I got bigger. When I got to Springfield, I took more than a truck. I was done. I quit. I took them their truck. I rented me a car, filled my stuff up, and I drove back to Florida. I was that scared. I quit. I quit the same day. I sent them a message over to Qualcomm. This is effective today. This is my last day. I was that scared. So I experienced it. It's not something that somebody told me. It's what I experienced.
Right.
My anxiety was so bad. Depression, being away from your kids, your wife, your family, your husband, whatever it is, right?
Right.
That's prevalent. It's high. It runs high, and it's easy to become depressed in trucking.
And a lot of people, and another thing, it's a lot of people that get on that highway and they leave home, and their home life is in disarray. They're going through divorce. They're going through something with their mom. Mom is sick, dad is sick. Sometimes wife is sick. Sometimes we are here hustling because we got to pay medical bills for the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's so much that I just can't even go into how much mental anguish truckers go through that we don't know about.
Yeah.
That we don't know about.
Absolutely.
And I think once you get that hotline up and going, I think you would be.
Oh, it's up.
Is it? I know you can't handle all the calls.
It's up. No, I mean it's a chat. You can't physically talk to me.
Okay.
It's a chat.
So it's a chat. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to ask because I know what HIPAA is. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
and I was
saying?
just getting ready to tell you, everything
Yeah.
that's said in those chats are
Yeah,
confidential.
private. Yeah, private.
Yeah.
And so I'll be I'll be praying over that and over God putting His hands on that because I know how big mental health is for truckers.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. I did it in silence. I
Yeah.
promise you, I did it in silence. I drove my truck going through a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about I drove my truck going through a divorce. It wasn't easy, but I did it, and I wasn't to the point where I was just out of there. But even when you have the smallest thing on your mind, it could take you elsewhere.
True.
You know what I mean? And so I know how it goes.
Yeah.
So, man, that is Sunshine for Truckers. And that is at Miss Pamulahbaby.
Yes.
That's us Sunshine for Truckers, guys. Hey, man, this has been, I took up about an hour and a half of your time. And I definitely appreciate it. You could have been doing anything, but you chose to be on my podcast, and I thank you.
Thank you.
I really, really thank you. And I
Thank
give you a
you.
round
Thank
of
you.
applause for creating Sunshine for Truckers. I'll give you a round of applause for raising that young man and getting him to his master, you and his dad. I praise you for just going out and doing what it is you wanted to do, and that's what you do. Put me down for a mentor. I'm there for the truckers, even if it just, like you say, somebody get in the bind or whatever. Put us down. Roberts TLA is the academy. Put us down. 18 Gear is up under that. If you need anything, my wife, she can get in contact with me. The website is up. Everything is on the website, and everything. The consultation times, scheduling, and everything is on the website. So if you go there and you can just put in anything and schedule or whatever, I got you. I'll help from whatever angle I can help.
I appreciate that.
No problem. Hey man, any last words to any of those youngins out there on that road that you can give them to keep their head up and keep moving and just stay positive? Give it to them.
Oh yeah. Definitely. You have to keep going. Take baby steps. And don't be in such a rush. That's the problem. I think we all in such a rush. I think we're in a rush for titles. You know what I'm saying? When we should be in a rush for peace. So take your time, young man. Take your time, young woman. Trucking ain't going nowhere.
Take your time, young man.
Yeah, man. Take your time, man. I think that's just the bulk of it all. Take your time. It's gonna come. Everybody, you thinking that you need perfection. You don't need perfection. That's not a requirement. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to get everything right now. You don't have to get everything right now. I cannot stress that enough. Like, I graduated from CDL school not knowing how to fully back a truck in a trailer. And that was okay. It came with time. Don't beat yourself up about the things you don't know. Just be prepared to learn them. Want to learn them. Practice. Your confidence will come. I can't stress that enough. That's always a tip for me.
You said one thing in that: confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence comes with experience.
Yeah.
If you have no fear, then you can gain all the experience. And what I mean by that is have healthy fear of things you can overcome.
Right.
And I can tell you now, like she just said, I can tell you now, one thing I live by. If one of these truckers tell you they know everything about trucking, stay away from them. Because I've been in the game going on over 20 years, and I'm still learning new stuff every day.
Absolutely.
Just the other day, I forgot to unhook my airlines. and it gave me a wake up call.
Yep.
Popped right in the back of a day cab, not in the back of a sleeper. They hit the back of a day cab.
Wow.
And if you ever heard airlines hit the back of a day cab, it sounds like you getting shot by a shotgun 3 times. So we all still are in that learning stage, and we're still growing, and we're still getting to know things that we don't know. One question I have for you before you go.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the new rule to allow 18-year-old drivers to drive interstate?
Ooh, you put me on the spot.
You're a mentor. I gotta get this. I got to get a.
You put me on the spot because I do have an opinion about it. I know some people going
and it's only your opinion. Everything we say on here is just our opinion. I'm gonna see what page you on.
18. Okay, 18. I don't know if people notice or not, but your brain is really, really not fully developed enough to make real life changing decisions until you're 21. We are talking about people who may not have had their license 2 years, and now you are giving them a ton of responsibility when you put them behind the wheel of an 18,000-pound vehicle.
Right.
I know some people mature more than others, right?
Mm-hmm.
But 18, I think, is just a little bit too young. That's just my opinion. You're still you're a baby. I don't care what nobody say. You are a baby, and the baby, that's the nurturer in me talking.
Just the mama.
Yeah. Listen, I'm 18, nah, that's just too young for me. 21, yeah. 18 is just a little too young.
I'm gonna say it like this, and I'm gonna see if I can paint a picture for you. I'm on the fence with it because if you were 18 and they were letting you drive interstate, right? You had to start. I mean, interstate. You couldn't go over the state lines, right?
Right.
Here in Texas is bigger than most cities. I mean, bigger than almost 3 states put together. So
right.
If you drive from Houston to Amarillo, that's like you driving from Houston to Pensacola.
Right.
Right. So if it's the miles you're worried about, and you're 18 years old and you're driving in Texas, what's that going to change? But at the same time, now this is the key word that they had in there. They were saying that it's an 18-year-old apprenticeship program. So that means that at 18, I can leave you in that program with a trainer until you turn 21.
Okay, well then that'll work for me.
Okay, and that's where I am with it too. Or until that trainer says,
that'll work for me.
Until that trainer says, hey, he good.
And right? It's not even about the miles, because you brought it up about the miles. Okay, I get it.
Right.
If you in Texas has a certain terrain. Florida definitely has a certain terrain. We all flat here.
Right. Yep.
You take a driver from Florida and put him in California, we talking about a totally different driver.
Or West Virginia.
Hello, Colorado.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where they they was giving out 100 years.
Yeah. Seattle.
That's what I'm saying.
Seattle.
We gotta really realize that there's a lot of responsibility that comes with just driving a truck. We just not behind the vehicle, turning left and turning right. There's a lot of responsibility comes with that. If you kill somebody.
Check this out. You said Colorado, right? I did a. It was just me. I didn't say nobody else brought it in. I did a podcast. I mean, I did a episode on Rogel. That's the young man's name.
Mm-hmm.
That had the wreck down in Colorado. Now he was sitting there standing in court with an interpreter. So you know what that means. He couldn't read English.
Exactly.
So he didn't understand what a runoff ramp was. Guess how many calls a day we get pertaining to the ELDT training, and they ask, do we have it in Spanish?
I know
Exactly.
you lying.
Exactly. That's the way my wife looked. That's the same look my wife had when we get at least 4 calls a day asking, do we have the ELDT training course in Spanish? Now, why would we have a training course in Spanish when all of the traffic signs are in English?
And it's required to know English and read English to get your CDL.
It is required. And see, that's the other question they had about that particular incident was, if he can't read English, how was he able to get a CDL?
Well, you know, I live in Miami.
Yeah. Hence the reason for the ELDT rule. Right? We bring it on ourselves.
Yeah.
They tired of people paying to go get CDLs. They tired of people paying to get them. So, hey, the way we're going to make sure you guys know what you know, you got to be a trainer, which we are a certified TPR. You didn't see the commercial, you'll probably see it, once this is done and you go back and watch the interview.
Okay.
But we are a ELDT training provider through FMCSA. And we've trained, as to date, we've trained over 60 people. Not only for the ELDT, but for the ELDT hazmat. Because as a trainer, I would tell my guys, before that, I say, hey man, I know you drive flatbed, I know you drive containers, but you just never know when you'll have an opportunity to make more money because you're hauling hazmat. I said, man, get all of your endorsements. Oh, I ain't gonna drive no doubles. How you know? You might have an opportunity to go work for FedEx. You might have an opportunity to go work for Old Dominion, R&L. You just never know.
Yeah.
So you're gonna lose an opportunity because you don't think you will ever drive it. Man, I had my hazmat, my doubles, my tankers, all of that when I got my license, and I had those on my license for 9 years before I even got in the tankers. All because I was ready.
Yeah.
I was ready. So yeah, man, that's crazy. You know what I mean? And we still, the way you looked, that's the look. That's the way we look every time somebody calls and says, "Do we have the ELDT in Spanish?" So, man, we could. Hey, look here. I told you, we can sit here and talk. Look, you got me. Put me down as a mentor. You can DM me, whatever you need to. We can hook up. We there. Like I said, robertstla.com is the website.
Okay, just send me the information.
Okay.
I ain't gonna remember by the time I get off the live.
I'll DM you. I got
Okay.
you. I'll DM you, and I'm gonna run your banner for Sunshine. I ran it at the beginning, and I'm gonna run it at the end. For people who watch the rebroadcast and all that, or whoever. But
okay.
Once again, this has been Miss Pamulahbaby.
Y'all don't forget to follow me on Pamulahbaby on Instagram. Sunshine for Truckers on Instagram. Visit the website. We are accepting donations. Please, via Cash App or PayPal. Anything helps. I appreciate you guys' support and love.
And I'll continue to run your flyer on each episode at the end, and some at the beginning, so we can get people in to support and donate to Sunshine for Truckers. I think it's a wonderful idea, and I support it. And so, man, I thank you so much for taking out your hour and a half of your time out of your day to come in and sit with me in my little trap. In my little trap. Once again, this has been Miss Pamulahbaby and she's at Sunshine for Truckers, her nonprofit. Go support, like, subscribe, donate, and if you have any kind of business ideas to where she can get funds in there, any ideas to where she can get funds to help these truckers, go get it. Go get it. Once again, I want to salute you and say thank you.
Thank
Be
you.
safe. If you need me, just DM me. Hey man, I got a question about anything. Hit me up. I'm there. Holler at me, and we'll get it popping. We'll get
All
it
right.
popping. All right, man. Hey, whenever you feel like it, I'm here every Sunday from 6 p.m. If you just want to jump in and say, "Hey, bro, what's up?" You know what I'm saying? Who you got on? What they talking about? Hey,
Okay.
man, you more than welcome. Jump in.
Okay.
Hey, man, I'm glad we made this connection. Think there's some good things on the horizon. Be safe and take care of yourself.
I will.
Hey,
Thank you.
Hey, man. Have a good night. We talk to
You
you
too.
later. All right.
All right.
Bye. Yeah. Once again, that was Sunshine at Miss Pamulahbaby. She has a nonprofit for truckers called at Sunshine for Truckers. She is a trucker. She trucks. She is a trucker, and she does her thing. And so she's an owner operator. And so, man, those are the type of interviews that I like to do. Like I said, there's nothing really hard about this. You know, I just want to dig in and see what you guys got going on. Tell your story. Kind of give a backdrop of you getting into the trucking game and all of that kind of stuff. And so on next week, we have none other than my partner, Highway Bully 100, will be in the building next week. Highway Bully 100 will be in the building next week, along with Power Weight will be in the building also. They will be tag teaming. We gonna have this thing. You know, we did that with the FedEx drivers. We did that with a couple of others. But in the building next week, will be Mr. Highway Bully himself. Mr. Highway Bully himself, along with his man, his partner, Mr. Power Pushing Weight, will be in the building, baby. Let me make sure I say Power Push Weight and Highway Bully will be in the building next week. Hey man, you guys tune in next week, and we're gonna have another good time like we did this week. Shout out again to Miss Pamulahbaby for joining the podcast, man. You guys go over to her channel, subscribe to Sunshine for Truckers, man. If you got any kind of way to help her, help these guys who are in distress. She does mental health for truckers also. I think it's a good nonprofit. She's also a mentor. If you guys would like to be a part of that, man, you guys go over and like and subscribe, and she will give you everything you will need to do in order to help support that cause. Once again, man, I want to thank you guys for joining us on another edition of the Freight Trapping Podcast. Man, you guys be safe and have yourselves a wonderful week. Don't fret nothing. Don't let fear hold you back from your dreams. Hold yourself accountable. That way nobody will be able to check you. And you always have yourself to build on. This has been another edition of the Freight Trapping Podcast. I have been your host, Mr. James Roberts. Shout out to my wife, Mr. Warner Roberts, who does an amazing job behind the scenes, holding it down. And we out. We'll see you next week.